For Yah righteousness, Jerusalem and the Holy See, Yah bless everyone, our national and international audience. Peace. And I hope all of you will be into the session. Esau was coming in there at times, talking about certain things, but as always, it'll replay next week. And if by some chance you didn't hear some of it, after next week, it'll be gotta put it up on the website. But again, we want to, send out our condolences to Elliot and his family again, and to any family that Yohanan had that possibly in the room, because we always appreciate people who've been tied into the movement and still are, but again, that's why it's so imperative that we turn to Yah with all our heart and soul, submit and obey. Read, study, pray, and do what Yah has put forth for us to do. We thank everybody out there, nationally and internationally, for your support of whatever kind, spiritually, mentally, physically, or all the above. We appreciate it. Much appreciated. And just to swear away some of the things that, I couldn't remember. I get to talking and have certain things in my head. That was the Khazars up in Turkey when the Edomites, after they got run out of the land in 135 CE by the Romans. Many of them, not all, many of them went up into Turkey, and after about 400 years they flipped color, and became became pale, so that they could mix in with the descendants out of Ephraim, Gentiles per se in that sense, right? Also, I couldn't remember Myron Fagan. We played that recording for everyone. I think about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, we played Myron Fagan for everybody. Maybe a little over 2 years. Time goes so fast. Myron Fagan, the Edomite, who talked about the Illuminati in that tape we played for everybody. Parts 1 and 2, because it's in that tape where Myron Fagan, and that came out in 1967, and he put forth that it was 68,000 Edomites that died in the Holocaust, but over the years that turned into over 6 million, with their lies and deception. And it was Alan Greenspan, the old Fed chairman before Bernanke, that I couldn't remember his name, Alan Greenspan. And again, that was bristling. I'm pretty sure many of you saw that what y'all had put in. If not all of you, if you didn't, I didn't mean herring, I meant bristling, even though I don't eat any herring either, never have. But bristling is what they put in these sardine cans and label them as sardines, but bristling does not have scales. But they're packaging them all as sardines. In the general sense of it, bristling can be called sardines too, but bristling doesn't have scales. And we must, if we're going to be in harmony with Yah, we can only eat things out of the water that has fins and scales. Also, when I said about the badger skin, it was more like deer skin. That was my thought, but Yah brought to me here the other week. She said it could have been sheepskin, okay? Because in what she said to me, you gotta hunt deer. They were eating sheep regularly, and they'd be part of the offering, so the skin. And I said, you're probably right, because again, sheepskin is very, very soft, as I've talked about in the past. Very soft. And it very well could have been wrapped in the priest, the holy things in sheepskin, after they wrapped it, or before they wrapped it in the blue cloth, to be handled by the whites, right? And I still haven't got a chance to look at this. Brother Yair, he mentioned it to me again here the other a few days ago, and we talked here the other. Matter of fact, we talked yesterday for a minute, but he asked me again, and I looked at that. What is a woman? Dealing about that intersex, and I still haven't got a chance to look at it yet, but I'm going to look at it. You know, that what is a woman, right? But I mean, we've got so much things going on now, right? But I want to read this to all of you, and as I read this, hold on. I can hear it back there. I can hear it back there, okay. Okay, is it back on?
Yeah, it never went off.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're back. Yada was saying that she was hit muffled, but you know, the Esau's going to be messing with it. But as long as it actually takes, like I just said a minute ago, don't let that throw you, because we're going to replay it next week. And if you missed anything, you can always go on the website once it's put up and get it, okay? But I want to read I'm going to read something to you straight out of the book. And as I go through this, it's 3 chapters. I want you to think about what I talked about in this session, and you know, listen real close. And some of you're going to know where I am. If you want to read along, you can. The word that came to Ephraim from Yah, saying, thus speaketh Yah, the strong of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith Yah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and YHWH, saith Yah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yah spake concerning Israel and concerning YHWH. For thus saith Yah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man does travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time they have here Jacob's trouble. But as I've said in the past, it's specifically talking about Zion here. Okay, but it's going to encompass all of Israel, Jacob, as we go along. But he shall be saved out of it, right? Zion, remember that. I'm going to touch on it in a second again. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yah of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Now we know that's got to be the Jerusalem movement. But they shall serve Yah their strongman, and Dawid their governor, whom I will raise up unto them. And again, we're serving Yah, right? Again, Dawid is, you know, he's just like a servant of Yah, right? So don't get it twisted. You know, the seed of Dawid. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yah, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. Now, at the top of that, when I said, when it reads, O my servant Jacob, it possibly was Zion there too. Fear thou not, O my servant Zion, saith Yah, neither be dismayed, O Yisrael. Now that's Yisrael as a whole. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. Right? And Zion shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make them afraid. For I am with thee, saith Yah, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations where I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. Okay, that's why we're going through what we're going through now. And we got some more ahead of us. For thus saith Yah, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause, that you may be bound up. See, that's why, again, this is specifically talking about Zion, because we know that Zion pleads for the people, makes intercession for the people, just like Moshe did, right, for Israel when y'all brought them out of Egypt. See, and at that time, you know, Moshe was like the governor, as it so states in the 33rd chapter of Deuteronomy. When all the tribes were gathered together, he was the like governor, right? So this is what Jerusalem does, you know, makes intercession now for the people, right? That's why it's none to plead for the cause, you know, for Jerusalem. Jerusalem has to plead for itself. You follow what I'm saying? And for the people. And that's why Yah says, there's none to plead that cause, that you may be bound up. You have no healing medicines. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. And again, when I read this, just think about Ezekiel 16. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith Yah, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeks after. Thus saith Yah, behold, I will bring again the captivity of, again, this, you know, Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. See, that's all Israel that's going to return. And the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And that could also be Zion in verse 18, right? Because it's talking about the city. We know that's Jerusalem, right? And the city shall be builded upon her own heap. Like I said, Jerusalem has been there, you know, when it became Jerusalem. Back then, 1 Chronicles chapter 29, you know, 22nd chapter. And then in 29, when David gathered all the people to tell them, you know, this is where Yah had let him know where the temple was going to be in Salem. And then it started to become YHWH, right? The city called by Yah's name. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me. And I will punish all that oppress them. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governors shall proceed. You hear that? I'm going to read that again. Verse 21. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them, not king, because Yah is the king. And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engaged his heart to approach unto me, saith Yah? Then ye shall be my people, and I will be your strong one. Behold, the whirlwind of Yah goes forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. The fierce anger of Yah shall not return until he hath done it, and until he hath performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days you shall consider it. At that same time said Yah, will I be the strong one of all the families of Israel. Now we know definitely we talk about all Israel, you know, all the 13 tribes, right? And those who will come out of those 13 tribes. And remember, you know, most of Israel is not coming. And they shall be my people. Thus saith Yah, the people which were left of the sword found grace in the wilderness. See, we in the wilderness of the people. Even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest. Yah hath appeared of old unto me, saying, yes, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Again I will build thee, and thou shalt be built, O virgin of Israel. Thou shalt again be adorned with the tabrets, and shalt go forth in the dances of them that make merry. Thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planter shall plant, and shall eat them as common things. Again, because we're not in the terrarium anymore, right? For there shall be a day that the watchmen upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, Arise ye, and let us go up to Zion unto Yah our strong one. For thus saith Yah, Sing with gladness for Yaakov, and shout among the chief of the nations. Publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Yah, save thy people, the remnant of Israel. Behold, I will bring them from the north country, gather them from the coast of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travails with child together. A great company shall return there. They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. You hear that? Ephraim is my firstborn, right? And that's chapter 48, Genesis, correct? And back there when you know, Yaakov, Israel set Ephraim before Manasseh. Hear the word of Yah. And again, you know, if the house of Yahusef, you know, Yahusef got the double portion, right? Hear the word of Yah, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles of far off. You hear that? I'm going to read that again. Hear the word of Yah, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles of far off. And say, He that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him, as a shepherd does his flock. And again, when I read that verse 10 in chapter 31, you remember, think about chapter 42, Yeshai, at the top, right? The isles wait for Yah's law, right? For Yah hath redeemed Zion and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of Yah, for wheat, for wine, for oil, and for the young of the flock and of the herd. And their souls shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not sorrow any more at all. Then shall the virgin rejoice in the dance, both the young men and the old together. For I will turn their mourning into joy, and will comfort them, and make them rejoice from their sorrow. And I will satiate the soul of the priests with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, saith Yah. Thus saith Yah, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping. Rachel weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children, because they were not. Thus saith Yah, refrain thy voice from weeping, and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded, saith Yah. And they shall come again from the land of the enemy, and there is hope in thine end, saith Yah, that thy children shall come again to their own border. I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus. Thou hast chastised me, and I was chastised, as a bullock unaccustomed to the yoke. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned, for thou art Yah, my strong one. And when I read that verse 18 in chapter 31, Yeremiah, just think about Hosea 14, verse 8, okay, and Zechariah chapter 10. Surely after that I was turned, and I repented, and after that I was instructed. I smote upon my thigh, and I was ashamed, yes, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of my youth. Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, saith Yah. Set thee up waymarks, and make thee high places. High heaps, right? And again, that's what Zion is supposed to do. Set up the waymarks, is it not? Break its clods. Set thy heart toward the highway, even the way which thou went. Turn again, O Virgin Yisrael. Turn again to these thy cities. Isn't that what we say at Yah righteousness to all Israel? How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yah hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Thus saith Yah of hosts, the strong one of Israel, as yet they shall use this speech in the land of Yehudah, in the cities thereof, when I shall bring again their captivity. Yah shall bless thee, O habitation of justice and mountain of holiness. And there shall dwell in Yehudah itself, and in all the cities thereof together, husbandmen, and they that go forth with flocks. For I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Upon this I awake, and beheld, my sleep was sweet unto me. Behold, the day is come, because this is Yeremiah there in verse 25, right? And so in verse 26. All right. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of YHWH with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass that as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so I watch over them to build and to plant, saith Yah. In those days, and that's today and ahead of us, in those days they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape and the children's teeth are set on edge. Right? But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eats the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of YHWH. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yah. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yah, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their strong one, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yah. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yah. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Thus saith Yah, which gives the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divides the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yah of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yah, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith Yah, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yah. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that the city shall be built to Yah from the tower of Hananel unto the gate of the corner, and the measuring line shall yet go forth over against it upon the hill Gadar, and shall compass about to Goah, and the whole valley of the dead bodies, of the ashes, and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east shall be holy unto Yah. It shall not be plucked up, nor thrown down any more forever. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yah in the 10th year of Zedekiah, governor of YHWH, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar. For then the king of Babylon's army besieged Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the governors of YHWH's house. For Zedekiah the governor of YHWH had shut him up, saying, Wherefore do you prophesy and say, Thus saith Yah, behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. And Zedekiah the governor of YHWH shall not escape out of the hand of the Chaldeans, but shall surely be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon, and shall speak with him mouth to mouth, and his eyes shall behold his eyes. And he shall lead Zedekiah to Babylon, and there shall he be until I visit him, saith Yah. Though you fight with the Chaldeans, you shall not prosper. And Jeremiah said, The word of Yah came unto me, saying, Behold, Hananiel, the son of Shallum, thine uncle, shall come unto thee, saying, Buy thee my field that is in Anathoth, for the right of redemption is thine to buy. So Hananiel, my uncle's son, came to me in the court of the prison, according to the word of Yah, and said unto me, Buy my field, I pray thee, that is in Anathoth, which is in the country of Benjamin, for the right of inheritance is thine, and the redemption is thine. Buy it for thyself. Then I knew that this was the word of Yah. Then I bought the field of Hananiel, my uncle's son, that was in Anathoth, and weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver. And I subscribed the evidence and sealed it, and took witnesses, and weighed him the money in the balances. So I took the evidence of the purchase, both that which was sealed according to the law and the custom, and that which was open, and I gave the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, in the sight of Hananiel, mine uncle's son, and in the presence of the witnesses that subscribed the book of the purchase, before all the Israelites that sat in the court of the prison. And I charged Baruch before them, saying, Thus saith Yah of hosts, the strong one of Israel, Take these evidences, this evidence of the purchase, both which is sealed, and this evidence which is open, and put them in an earthen vessel, that they may continue many days. For thus saith Yah of hosts, the strong one of Israel, Houses and fields, and vineyards shall be possessed again in this land. Now when I had delivered the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch the son of Neriah, I prayed unto Yah, saying, O Lord Yah, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth by thy great power and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. You show us loving kindness and unto thousands, and recompense the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty strong one, Yah of hosts is his name. Great in counsel, mighty in work, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his or her doings, which has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day, and in Israel, and among other men, and has made thee a name as at this day, and has brought forth thy people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs, with wonders, and with a strong hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with great terror, and has given them this land which thou didst swear to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and sweetness. And they came in and possessed it, but they obeyed not thy voice, neither walked in thy law. They have done nothing of all that thou commandest them to do. Therefore thou hast caused all this evil to come upon them. Behold, the mounts, they are come unto the city to take it, and the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans that fight against it, because of the sword and of the famine and of the pestilence. And what have you spoken is, and what thou hast spoken is come to pass. And behold, you see it. And you have said unto me, O Lord Yah, buy thee the field for money, and take witness, for the city is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. Then came the word of Yah unto Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am Yah, the strong one of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Therefore thus saith Yah, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. And the Chaldeans that fight against this city shall come and set fire on this city, and burn it with the houses upon whose roofs they have offered incense unto Baal. You understand? The ancient JC, you know, JC is just a rehash of that today. And poured out drink offerings unto idols to provoke me to anger. For the children of Israel and the children of YHWH have only done evil before me from their youth. And when I say that, just think about Genesis chapter, 33, 34, 35. For the children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith Yah. For this city hath been to me as a provocation of mine anger and of my fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day, that I should remove it from before my face, because of all the evil of the children of Israel and the children of YHWH, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they and their governors, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, and the men of YHWH and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And they have turned unto me the back and not the face, though I taught them, rising up early and teaching them. Yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction. But they set their abominations in the house which is called by my name to defile it. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not, neither came into my mind that they should do this abomination to cause YHWH to sin. And now, therefore, thus saith Yah, the strong of Israel, concerning this city, wherefore you say, it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Behold, I will gather them out of all countries where I have driven them in my anger, and in my fury, in great wrath. And I will bring them again to this place, and will cause them to dwell safely. And they shall be my people, and I will be their strong. And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good. See, now we know we're talking, Yah's talking about what's up in front of us, not behind us. But I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me. Yes, I will rejoice over them to do them good, and I will plant them in this land assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole soul. For thus saith Yah, like as I have brought all this great evil upon this people, so will I bring upon them all the good that I have promised them. And fields shall be bought in this land, whereof you say, it is desolate, without man and beast. It is given into the hand of the Chaldeans. Men shall buy fields for money, and subscribe evidences, and seal them, and take witnesses in the land of Benjamin, and in the places about Jerusalem, in the cities of Yehudah, in the cities of the mountains, and in the cities of the valley, and in the cities of the south, where I will cause their captivity to return, saith Yah. Moreover, the word of Yah came into Yeremiah the second time, while he was yet shut up in the court of the prison, saying, thus saith Yah, the maker thereof, Yah that formed it to establish it. Yah is his name. He who creates is what it means. And I could just as easily say, he who creates is his name. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which you know not. For thus saith Yah, the strong of Israel, concerning the houses of this city, and concerning the houses of the governors of Yehudah, which are thrown down by the mounts and by the sword. They come to fight with the Chaldeans, but it is to fill them with the dead bodies of men, whom I have slain in my anger and in my fury, and for all whose wickedness I have hid my face from this city. Behold, I will bring it health and cure, and I will cure them, and will reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth. And I will cause the captivity of Yehudah and the captivity of Israel to return, and will build them as at the first. And I will cleanse them from all their iniquity whereby they have sinned against me, and I will pardon all their iniquities whereby they have sinned, and whereby they have transgressed against me. And it shall come, and it shall be to me a name of joy, a praise, and an honor before all the nations of the earth. You hear that? Which shall hear all the good that I do unto them, and they shall fear and tremble for all the goodness and for all the prosperity that I procure unto it. Thus saith Yah again, there shall be heard in this place which ye say shall be desolate, without man and without beast, even in the cities of Yehudah, and in the streets of Jerusalem that are desolate, without man and without inhabitant, and without beast. The voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride, and the voice of them that shall say, praise Yah of hosts, for Yah is good, for his mercy endures forever. And of them that shall bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yah, for I will cause to return the captivity of the land as at the first, saith Yah. So again, talking about the third and last temple, right? Thus saith Yah of hosts, again in this place which is desolate, without man and without beast, and with all the cities thereof shall be a habitation of shepherds, causing their flocks to lie down. In the cities of the mountains, in the cities of the vale, in the cities of the south, in the land of Benjamin, in the places about Jerusalem, in the cities of Yehudah shall the flocks pass again under the hands of him that telleth them, saith Yah. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel and to the house of Yehudah. In those days and at that time will I cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. Again, the branch, not David himself, but one of his seed. In those days shall Yehudah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith she, the city, shall be called, Yah our righteousness. For thus saith Yah, David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel, neither shall the priests, the Levites, want a man before me to offer burnt offerings and to kindle meat offerings and to do sacrifice continually. And the word of Yah came unto Jeremiah, saying, thus saith Yah, if you can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, and that there should not be day and night in their season, then may also my covenant be broken with David my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites the priests my ministers. As the host of heaven cannot be numbered, neither the sand of the sea measured, so will I multiply the seed of David my servant, and the Levites that minister unto me. Moreover, the word of Yah came to Jeremiah, saying, consider thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which Yah hath chosen, he hath even cast them all. Thus have they despised my people, that they shall be no more a nation before them. When I read that, just think of Psalms 83. Thus saith Yah, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers, plural, over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them. I mean, that's it right there. Those 3 chapters. Huh? Those 3 chapters, 30, 31, matter of fact, 4 chapters, right? 30, 31, 32, and 33. Now, I mean, Yah is running the whole thing down right there. All right, about this third and last temple, right? How it's not one person that's going to sit on the throne. You follow what I'm saying? David going to have many sons in the, perpetually, right? There's always going to be one of his seed sitting on the throne in Jerusalem. You follow what I'm saying? It's always going to be priests. It's always going to be Levites. Yah's bringing back descendants out of all 13 tribes. Okay? And out of those descendants out of 13 tribes, he's going to embellish each tribe and blow it up into a full tribe again, to however many people will be in it. Nothing's too hard for Yah. How many times did I read that in these 4 chapters? There's nothing that he can't do. What did he say? He's the strong one of all flesh. All flesh. And he's talking about all the nations, how they're going to have to submit to him, to his arm. See? So I was just reading that last night, and I said I'd read that today to all of you, so you could hear that, because again, we're in trying times. We're in a time of trouble, never been since it's been a nation. Okay, but again, as I said in the past, we read these newspaper articles, what's going in the earth, to substantiate and confirm Yah's prophecies, right? I mean, water's dried up across the earth. I don't care whatever else you need, you got to have some water. Simple as that, okay? Yesterday, Yair, I was talking to Yair, and he told me, his woman said that she works out in one of these northern suburbs, and it's supposed to be a well-to-do suburb, but he told me that she told him some of them Caucasians out there, they have all their gas cut off for the summer. They take cold showers, cold baths, they cook all their food in a microwave. Okay, they have all of it turned off. And when he told me that, I said, well, they supposed to have a little money out there, but again, as I thought about it, I was telling Yah about it, and I said it could be, a lot of those Caucasians, and I know some Edomites out there, Barrington, Barrington Hills, Illinois. It could very well be, they had their money invested in stocks, bonds. And all of that stuff is collapsing as I speak. Okay? I got some articles, and one of them specifically I'm going to read to you. And I'll say that one for last. But again, Chicago Tribune, July the 8th. Okay, now it's a headline here. It says surge in U.S. dollars value abroad offers pros and cons. See, because they want to, say here it's good, but it's really not. Stronger buck restrains cost of imports, but hikes prices of America's exports. Now, some of you might say, well, America's really not exporting anything. Right? But again, they can only do this for so long, because this is game. You follow what I'm saying? They artificially pumping up the dollar. Okay? but that's not going to last. Yesterday, we listened to Alistair McLeod in this interview on this site. I don't know the name of the site. Y'all to pull it up. Y'all to find a lot of this stuff. But it was this guy. He has this site, and he had him and another guy named Lewis. They were interviewing Alistair McLeod. I've mentioned him in the past. He's over there in England. You know, he used to be on Max Kaiser at times, right? And also Daniela Camboni. But Alistair McLeod said again yesterday, and I mean more emphatically than he said it in the past, that especially now that this Bitcoin, you know, this cryptocurrency has collapsed again, because it's a boom bust type thing. You follow what I'm saying? They just, you know, like I said, they're doing it similar to what they did back in 2930, you know, 1929, 1930 with the stocks, right? They collapsed then. Well, they just collapsed cryptocurrencies and wiped out, as I read to y'all, you know, all of you, wiped out a bunch of people. I mean, you know, wiped their monies out that they had invested in cryptocurrency. It's gone. You know what I mean? They got to try to find, you know, another way to get some money now, because that money's gone. Okay? But like I said in this session, no money evaporates. It goes into somebody's pocket. Okay? Also, it says, as inflation lingers, Fed eyes repeat of rate hike. Okay? Which is, again, you understand? They talked about raising interest rates. Another, what is it? 75 basis. You know, 75, like not a whole point, but 0.75. You know, like 3/4 of a point. Okay? And again, this is doom. Alistair McLeod was saying this yesterday. He said, you know, they might raise it to 3% actual, you know, 3.0% over a period of time. He said, but that's going to spell doom, because the bond market is already collapsing. You know, stocks are already, you know, falling short. And again, as I said, you know, and when I read this last article, you go hear more of what I'm saying and where I'm going, and you know what's really happening, right? But you know, these stocks are collapsing, bond markets are collapsing. All right, so now it's just a matter of time before you get masses of people who start doing their best to get into the precious metals, not the paper. Like a lot of people, they've been inducing a lot of people to go into these paper metals, you know, which is not, you know, the real article. You follow what I'm saying? It's just a fiat gold, a fiat silver, which is, you know, all that can collapse and will too. Okay? But you're going to get a lot of people trying to get into that inverted pyramid and that capstone where all of the real commodities are. But only so many people can get down in there, right? And here's another article that says, big bet on Bitcoin backfiring. El Salvador's move to digital currency shows gap between hopes and economic realities. Because El Salvador, you know, their president took them totally into cryptocurrency. So you know they hollering and screaming now. Okay? Also, war in the Ukraine pushes 71 million into poverty. This is out of the UN. Matter of fact, this comes from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. A staggering 71 million more people around the world are experiencing poverty as a result of soaring food and energy prices that climbed in the weeks following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The United Nations Development Program said in a report. Now, what they're not saying again is, you understand, Russia was left no choice but to defend itself against this onslaught of America, you know, led NATO. And they've been pushing at Russia in the Ukraine basically for about the last 30 years, going back to like 1991. Okay? But it really started to rev up in 2014. You understand? When they coup the duly elected president in the Ukraine and put in that Poroshenko in 2014. And it was then when they put in him that the Edomite forces that they generally on this side of this side of the earth, when you're listening to the news, they'll just say Ukrainian forces, but these are the Ukrainian Edomite forces. And these Ukrainian Edomite forces have been bombing the eastern part of the Ukraine for the last 8 years. See, they don't tell you that over here. You got to go on RT International to get that. And we've seen many of the people who were being bombed by the Ukrainian Edomite forces. You follow me? Them Nazis, Edomites, with their Nazi symbols and whatnot, bombing the eastern part of the Ukraine. And you had like 8 million people of the eastern Ukraine, a lot of them Russians, they went on over into Russia. Because, you know, Putin, you know, embraced them. The Russians embraced them. You follow what I'm saying? But this is the United States-led NATO onslaught on the Ukrainians, the true Ukrainians, right? And on Russia. Okay? That's what they don't tell you. See, so now this is all being instigated by the Illuminist Edomites. As I said, divide and conquer, right? Daniel chapter 7. This fourth dominion is diverse from the previous 3. And this is how the illuminated Edomites have used this diversity, starting at the latter part of the 3rd dominion of man, Daniel chapter 8, in the Greek dominion. When they got rid of Alexander, that's when they started employing this divide and conquer. You follow me? You know, mindset, right? Ptolemy turning against Alexander, going in with the Amalekite Edomites, the handful of Amalekite Edomites, then poisoning Alexander, getting rid of him, and then the Diadochi, right? You know, the generals of Alexander. Then they started, you understand, diversifying them, and they've been doing this same old game all the way up to this very day. Divide and conquer. Start wars, right? Where, you follow me, these people who are dealing in the wars come to them, the bankers, to get loans and getting in debt to the bankers, right? And then when they want the war to end, they'll pull the rug out from up under whoever they want to lose, right? And they've given everybody loans that's involved in the wars. Get them in debt. See? And they get more and more powerful. See, that's the parasitic way. Dracu, right? The illuminated Edomites at work. Okay, now here's another article, July 8th, Chicago Tribune, South Africa's electricity cuts jolting the country's economy. This is out of Johannesburg, South Africa, right? You understand? They done had to cut people off the electric, cut the electric off, and it's jolting the country's economy. You follow what I'm saying? Like I say, this you know, this situation is hitting everywhere. Okay. Also, Chicago Tribune, July the 8th. Haiti sinks deeper into chaos 1 year after president slain. That's why they got rid of him. That's why, you know, the illuminated boy through the Skull and Bone boys, more than likely than not, had Jovenel Moise, right? Had him assassinated. Because the word again, you know, I said this here last year, right? Him and 4 other presidents of different nations in Eden that they call Africa, right? They wouldn't allow the shot, you know, the shot for the pandemic to come up into their country. So they was eliminated. Okay. One was an Ivory Coast nation. I forget all of the nations. I've said them in the past, but it was 5. They got rid of every one of them. And as soon as they got rid of them, then they brought the shot up into the country. You follow me? Now, this is the article that I saved for last. And this is the, Chicago Tribune, July the 7th, 2022. Biden spotlights action to rescue union pensions. You hear that? I'm going to read it again. Biden spotlights action to rescue union pensions. Rule linked to COVID-19 relief package will ensure full benefits for millions. Okay? So they saying full benefits for millions, but they ain't saying how long it's going to last. Right? Again, we know that they started giving out checks for the pandemic when they shut all the businesses down. People were out of work, so they gave you some checks. right? You understand, back in 2020 on into 2021, but what happened? Eventually, those checks stopped, right? Okay, so they say in reassuring frustrated blue-collar voters, President Joe Biden on Wednesday visited Ohio iron workers to highlight federal action to shore up troubled pension funding for millions now on the job or retired, and to make this his political case that he's been a champion of workers in the early going of his presidency. Biden's speech at a Cleveland high school showcased a final rule tied to his $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package from last year. The rule allows troubled multi-company pensions to be made financially whole, ensuring full benefits for 2 million to 3 million workers and retirees. Hurt politically by inflation at a 40-year high and damage wrought by the pandemic, I call it, right? The president delivered his message in a state that has been trending Republican, with Donald Trump easily carrying it twice. In his 6th visit as president, Biden looked to personally reverse that electoral tide, touting the rule to help multi-company pensions as one of the most significant efforts to support union workers' retirement funds in the past 50 years. The roughly 200 pension plans, you hear that? 200 pension plans receiving assistance face possible insolvency without government aid, and without the full benefits, workers and retirees could struggle to pay for housing, food, and other essentials. The financial support should help keep the pension funds solvent for roughly 30 years until 2051. You believe that? I don't. That's important, several retirees said. Okay, Bill DeVito, who introduced Biden, was an iron worker for almost 50 years before retiring a decade ago, when his pension was cut 40% in 2017. So he's been going the last 5 years only getting 60% of his pension, right? And he said it was devastating. I believe that, right? The thing of it is, we had a lot of politicians over the years saying, hey, we'll try to help you. We'll do everything we can. And nobody's ever done anything for us until Joe Biden came along, said DeVito 73. He said that other Ohio Democrats in Washington kept pushing too. Multi-employer plans are created through agreements between companies and a union and are insured by the Federal Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, PBGC. In 2014, Congress passed the Multi-Employer Pension Reform Act that allowed plans for the first time to cut workers and retirees' benefits in order to ensure that pensions projected to run out of money remain solvent. So that's the only way they can keep them going, right? You know, some money better than no money. So they cut the pensions back. Like I just read you, this DeVito, his pension was cut 40%. He's only getting 60%. Those of you know, in the past, I've read, right, about that truckers union up there in New York, and how that person who had been driving the truck for the New York local up there for 30 years, he had been putting money into his pension plan so he could get back $4,800 a month. And you remember when I read, he said he was getting half of that when he retired. So he was getting less than $2,400 a month. But he had paid into it. He's supposed to have been getting $4,800 a month, right? Okay, so this similar thing happened to this DeVito and many others, right? They just spotlighted him. Okay, so now the American Rescue Plan, passed in March 2021, included a special finance assistance program that allows struggling multi-employer pension plans to apply to the PBGC for assistance. The final rule being unveiled is designed to make it easier for the pensions investments to receive a higher rate of return. While Biden boasts of steady job growth, unemployment sits at 3.6%. And if they're saying 3.6%, you know it's higher than that. You know that you can't believe that, right? Americans have largely been discontented with the Democratic president's handling of the economy as inflation continues to rise. Interest rates increase and the stock market wobbles. Okay? Just 28% approve of Biden's stewardship of the economy, according to AP North Center for Public Affairs research poll published last week. All right, so these pensions are in trouble. And he's saying that the government is going to come and, you know, pay these pensions in full up until, what was that, 2051? I don't believe that at all. Not one bit. Okay, do I believe that? Because the dollar is collapsing, right? Inflation's on the rise. They're between a rock and a hard place. There's nothing that they can do now to you know, no more rabbits in the hat. Okay? Because with the rise in interest rates, this is what's causing the bond market to collapse. You follow what I'm saying? So as different economists like Lynette Zhang and Peter Schiff, you follow what I'm saying, Alice Democrat and Michael Hudson and Mitch Feinstein, as Mitch Feinstein likes to say, you cannot taper a Ponzi scheme. And now this whole house of cards is collapsing. Okay? That's why what Yada played this morning, last year, I mentioned Michael Pinto. Haven't even seen him since, you know, they didn't shut down RT America, right? Every now and then he might be on something, but I haven't seen him lately because he knows how dire, as many of these economists, they know how dire this situation is. And they know it's, you know, it's popping loose as I speak. And it's going to get worse. They know that. There's no way out of it. Okay? So as I just read this 30, 31, 32, 33, Yaremia, right? What did y'all say about those of us, who have turned to him, right? With all our heart and soul, right? That's got his laws, statutes, orders, judgments, commandments, and precepts written on the table of our heart. Like I said in the past, maybe none of us know, I don't know all of the laws by heart, but I know where to go when I got some kind of discrepancy about something. You follow what I'm saying? I know where to go in here to find out. You understand what I'm saying? To get the understanding of the law, to get the understanding of what I should do. You see what I'm saying? Okay? Because again, you know, as I just mentioned in this, you know, people have been plugged into this through the years. Okay? And a lot of people have not laid it to heart the things that have come through this movement. Okay? A lot of people have not actually laid it to heart. Okay? You follow me? Like when I talk about cleaning up your past. All right? You understand? Getting that psyllium husk with different herbs in it. You know, and taking it and doing internal cleansing. You understand? Stop dealing with things you know are destructive. Okay? Because Johanna's ex-wife, when she called me and told me, she in the room right now, when she called me and told me that he had transitioned, and we talked a couple of hours, about a couple of hours, and she told me then as we were talking, she said, she said he kept drinking Pepsi Cola. She said, I used to tell him, she said he kept drinking that. See? And those of you who've been plugged into the movement for years, you know I talked about Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola. You know, we can't be drinking that stuff. That stuff destroys the bones. You understand? As I said in the past, you know, if Coca-Cola do it, Pepsi Cola do it. I talked about how you take Coca-Cola and pour it on battery to clean away the battery acid. So now what is something like that going to do to your bones, your internal organs? Right? You follow me? See, so we have to lay this to heart. This is no joke. Simple as that. You know, when y'all reveal these things to us like turpentine to run out the parasites out of our body, we have to go get some turpentine and gotta take it. like Dr. Jennifer Daniels so states. You follow me? Why would you want to go into the medical industrial complex, right? And they put you under the x-ray. They possibly see the nest. It might be small, it might be great. The black dot. in your head, in your chest, in your colon somewhere, right? You follow me? And that's the nest. You understand where the parasites is, basically, coming from, stemming from. And then they travel out throughout your body, eating up your internal organs. And again, 51, I just read it in this session again, 51:8 Yeshaya, right? The revilers, right? Like the moth eats wool, so the worm's going to eat them up. Well, that's the parasites. Eating up your internal organs. You follow me? See? So you understand? We've got to do what Yah reveals to us. Lay it to heart. Yeah, turpentine might taste bad. You might gag a little, but you got to get it down. You know what I mean? And you got to do it like Dr. Jennifer Daniels lays it out. Isn't that a lot simpler than going to the medical industrial complex? They see the nest, and next thing they're going to tell you they got to operate. They're going to cut you open, They're going to go in there. They're going to get so many of the parasites, but they ain't going to get them all because, like I said in the past, when that air hits the parasites, they start running, just like roaches when you turn the light on, right? They start running other places in your body. That's why they close you up, and then they give you the chemo, the liquid mustard gas that's going to destroy your other, your other internal organs. You follow me? Making all your hair fall out. And then they send you right back out here. You keep on eating the same way you was eating basically before. And then in another year or 2 years or 3 years, the parasites is back again, the ones that wasn't killed. And they done set back up, and multiplied again, and they eating on you again. Well, you could take the turpentine that comes from the box tree, the fir tree, the pine tree, right? Take that pure turpentine, right? And see them run out of your, run them right out your body. Like Yosha said to me a few years ago, he like, one of the best things about it, I said, what? He said it only costs $9 and some change to get a bottle of pure turpentine. We have to do, right? What did Solomon, the wisest man ever would be? What did he say? Wisdom is good when it's applied. What good does it does someone to have the knowledge, the understanding, the knowledge, but you're not applying it? You might as well not have it. If you're not going to apply it, what does Solomon say? Take fast hold of wisdom and let it not go. See, so okay, Yoshi, $20. Okay, it costs $20. Now, you follow what I'm saying? I'm sure all of you out there got at least $20. You know what I'm saying? See, so again, you understand? And this is what so many people. Like I said in the past, I know people that know me. I know what they do. I know what some of them have done, right? They've gone into the way. I know a lot of these sisters who I saw last month. I'm gonna see so many of them come this Tuesday. You understand? Because my guy's father done transition, and that's when his waking stuff is. Now I'm gonna see so many there that I've been knowing for years. You follow what I'm saying? Okay, and I know so many of them, they've gone in the internet, pulled up the site. You follow me? Listen to so much. They can't stand to probably hear too much. Okay? But I know so many have, ain't no way he know what he talking about, because they like, I remember back when. And so they're going to go in there and hear some, and they're going to open up their Bible, right? They're going to go in there, but y'all going to let some light get through on some of them. Maybe, it all depends on the person, what's in their heart. But I know it's little bits of light, pieces of light that come through and hit them. That scares them even more. You follow me? Because every time we substantiate the word of Yah, that underscores that Yah is he who creates. He is the king. As I just read to you over here, you read me, right? He the strong one of all flesh. Like I said last day, you know, he done created everybody. It's not but one strong one. And that's what the people of the earth, I just read it, hear this, you read me, they gonna come. You see, because they in trouble. And you having more and more and more and more people getting in trouble every day. And they understand it. No place to stay. Living out of cars, living out of SUVs, living in a tent. We were just looking at that yesterday. This 80-year-old Gentile living in a tent. Where was that? That was Arizona? Yeah, Arizona. And it was hot. He was talking about what he does when it get real hot. And so the lady that was interviewing him, she said, well, don't you go to a cooling center? He said, yeah, you know, I've gone there. He said, but you know, that's only for so long. I eventually got to come back here. You live in a tent. And it was a row of tents. His wasn't the only one. See? And they have to find some place where they can go take a shower. Maybe like every 2 or 3 days. There was a sister there. She, you know, all of them living in these tents. Okay? That's in Arizona. Because I told y'all when we was looking at it, I said, now, whoever, you know, any of the poor homeless people back east, see that? There's going to be a lot of them trying to get to Arizona. See what I'm saying? Because when this cold starts setting in, you know, you homeless in the east, you know, that's rough. Because I see some of them here, you know, I pass some of them, you understand, I go certain areas, you know, on the south side of downtown Chicago, and they got those tents set up. And there's some up there on the north side of Chicago got them tents set up. We've seen them in New York, okay? They was, when this brother became mayor, that's mayor of New York now, he sent the police out there. They was moving these people that was living in tents right on the street up there in New York, and all I saw was Caucasians. So it's bad. Again, a time of trouble never been since it's been a nation. Huh? Daniel chapter 12, the first vision Daniel got. And it's only going to get worse. Alistair McLeod was talking about it yesterday. It's only going to get worse. Because these economists, they see what time it is. Like I said, the Peter Schiffs, the Lynette Zane, Michael Hudson's, Mitch Firestein. I mean, it's a host of them. They Daniel Camboni, Rick Rule. Okay, they know this thing is in trouble. Big time. And when I say, I ain't just talking about America, I'm talking about the whole earth. So now Yah is salvation. That's what most folks don't know. Not silver, not gold, not paper fiat of any kind, right? Not bombs and guns. And when I mention bombs again, what L.E. brought up, what y'all brought through him here, last year, or a couple years, a year and a half ago, that Zechariah chapter, chapter 5? Huh? When it says that Yah showed Zechariah the vision, right? Chapter 5. I'm going to pick it up at the top. Then I turned. This is Zechariah, right? And I lifted up mine eyes, right? And looked, and behold, a flying roll. And Yah said unto Zechariah, what seeth you? And Zechariah answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits. The breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Huh? Then he said unto me, this is the curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that steals shall be cut off on this side according to it. Everyone that swears, use profanity, shall be cut off on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith Yah of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that swears, falsely by my name, right? In idolatries of any kind, right? And it shall remain in the midst of his house or hers, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. And like Elias said, huh? He said, could that be a bomb? And I said, you probably hit it right on the head. Because that's exactly what it is. A bomb that you understand, Yah showed, you follow me? Zechariah. Because when you look up roll in this spot and you go through the definitions, one of the definitions, and this is the one that really, his home, remove. One of the definitions for roll is remove. Isn't that what a bomb does? Removes, consumes the house and everything in it, around it. And what most people are afraid of right now is what? Nuclear war. Isn't that right? That's why so many people are afraid when, you understand, the Illuminists brought on this Ukraine situation. They're afraid nuclear war gonna jump off behind it. Well, the nuclear war is coming. Y'all done told us that, right? But it can't happen until when? Until Yah is established in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is cleansed of all idolatry. Yah's temple is built. Yah comes into the temple, right? The sacrifice is on, right? He gonna come into the temple with the first sacrifice, Malachi chapter 3 at the top, right? The second gathering takes place, right? Then, as it says, Jeremiah 50:51, after, between 2 to 3 years after the second and last gathering, when Yah reaches out the second time, Yeshaya chapter 11, right? Jeremiah 50:51, right? Yeshaya chapter 2, Micah chapter 4, Yah reaches out the second and last time, and people, all different kind of people, not only Israelites, but all different kind of people, gonna come from all over, the four corners of the earth, they come, right? You follow me? You understand? Because they gonna want salvation. They gonna want things to be better. See? So, you understand? 2 to 3 years after the second and last gathering, that's when we're gonna have the nuclear war. And nothing can stop this. Nothing. Nothing returns to Yahweh. Simple as that. See, and this is, a lot of people don't want to hear this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do not want to hear this. You follow me? It's too real. It's too scary. And especially the people who are not totally committed and submitted. The people who are not submitted or committed at all. These people who are in idolatries. These people who love this system, this fourth dominion, for whatever reason. They don't want to hear this. That's why we get in Yeshaya chapter 53, what does it say? They all, as it were, hide their faces from him, them. Any and all of us that's carrying this message. People don't really want to talk to us. They really, once they kind of get an ear to this, they really don't even want to see you. Okay? Because you remind them of what, the little bit that they've gotten and the little bit that they understand or see. You follow me? How much more as we see it? Like Yair said to me the other week, we was on the phone, and it came up about, you understand, them cutting off, Russia cutting off the gas, the natural gas and the oil, but definitely that natural gas, to like about 6 of them nations over there, right? And I brought that up, right? And Yair said, yeah, it ain't gonna be a fire, cold, or warm. Okay? Not only for the ones who can't afford it, you got people over there in Europe can afford it, but at the same time, the Illuminated controlled government, the Illuminati Edomites say, you understand, tell the government, we ain't paying you in no rubles. You gonna take these euros, or you gonna take these dollars, or you gonna take these Swiss francs, and what did Putin say? Cut it off. You paying us in rubles. If you don't pay us in rubles, we cut it off. And the people in these countries is upset, but the government got to do, you know what I mean? Because the Illuminati Edomite got this chokehold on the government. It's running the government. And then the masses of people in these countries, they upset. They're like, we saw some, what was out of Bulgaria, they was talking to the people, this woman said, she said, the government got to do something. Because we don't have any heat, we don't have any gas, we don't have any electricity. See? But they're not paying any attention to the people. They can care less about the people. Now, we could say, you understand, this is the Illuminati Edomite. Well, yeah, that's his heart. right? You remember chapter 17. Yah, he gives the appropriate spirit to everybody in accordance with what's in their heart. So what did y'all again? You remember chapter 25. I'm going to bring a sword on the inhabitants of the earth, right? Genesis 27. What did Isaac tell Esau? You're going to get the dominion one day, but you're going to live by your sword. So coming back around, that's the illuminated Amalekite International Edomite bankers, isn't it? That's why so-called anti-Semitism is on the rise. Because a lot of people know it's the Jews, bankers, you understand? But what they possibly don't know and don't understand is what? Is that these are the Edomites. Because they don't know the book. They don't know the word of Yah. Because once you know that these Jew bankers, are Edomites, that's the ball game. Now all you got to do is go into this book of remembrance, because that's the only place where you can really find out about Esau. The Edomites is this book of remembrance, this so-called Old Testament. That's why, it's a brother now. He called, he been reading about 4 years or so. He like, I'm reading the book of Josephus. I said, that's Edomite, bro. You follow me? Don't pay no attention. That's a bunch of nonsense. See? He's kind of hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I tell him, well, because when he started running this stuff to me about Josephus or the Apocrypha or something like that, or some of these other stuff, I like, okay, I didn't talk to him once. I don't really say anything. I just let him talk. Seeing if I can pick up something that's going to be beneficial. Until sometimes, I get enough, and then I say, hey, man, I'm gone. I got to go. We'll talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I listen sometimes to whatever extent, just to see if I can pick up something that's going to be useful, that's going to be beneficial. Because I ain't mad at him. You understand what I'm saying? But, we didn't talk about this a couple of times. Every now and then he gets to talking, I let him talk, and then he'll say something, and then I have to come in and spot him some places in the book, just to see if he, pick up on it. See, and then at times he want to heap all these superlatives on me. That don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need to hear none of that garbage. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning. I'm inspired to grow. Not to get caught up in any superlatives, that's he thrown at me. Because I'm just a human being like all the rest of you. And like I done said in the past, doing my best to do the job that Yah has, this position he put me in to the best of the ability that Yah gives me. But I'm always ready to learn. What do you want to talk about? Anything? If you don't have anything, that's okay too. All right, Othniel ben Yisrael, praise Yah, bro. Peace and Yah bless to you as well and your household. You say concerning the badger skin, is it possible that it's adult male goat only? Buck, ram, duck, sheep. Yeah, but it could be. But like I said, when y'all said that to me, I'm kind of inclined to think it's that way, because we know, right, that these lamb of the first year, right, goat, right, different. It goes up on the altar different, and like that's every day. So you're gonna have skins. Now I'm sure some of them skins is used for clothing, whatever. But I'm sure in some of that skin is used to wrap them holy things in too. Because it's ready, it's right there. You know what I'm saying? And you say also goat's hair, Numbers 31:20, mention Genesis 35:23. Let me just check it out. Say Genesis 35:23 and Numbers 31:20. Okay, it said, purify all your raiment and all that is made of skins and all the work of goat's hair and all things made of wood. Yeah, okay. You follow what I'm saying? It could be a common, you know, it could be they use goat skin, it could be they use sheepskin, because I know sheepskin is soft. Like I said some years back, right? With those gloves I tried on when we were in New York. I think that was back around '97. And you talking about soft, man. These some sheepskin gloves, but you know they wanted like $200. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pass on these. You know what I'm saying? But you talking about and sheep wool on, you know, on the inside and sheep's wool. You talking about soft, man? It was too soft. It was, man, super soft. Okay. Let me go to this 35:23. You say. 35:23. The sons of Leah, Reuben. Yada said that. She didn't think that was right. It's not. You got it confused with something else. Genesis 35:23. You must mean something else. But Genesis 27:16. Let me go there. 27:16. Right. All right. Yeah. You know what? Which put on Jacob to go in there and act like he was Esau. Okay. Yeah. So, like I say, we know they use these skins for garments, for clothing. You know what I'm saying? And for shoes, possibly. You know what I mean? The leather off of the you know, the steer, right? Ox, if you will. You know, not much. You know, it's kind of like the Native American. You know, and our forefathers was probably the same way. Everything was just about used, right? And again, when in this session, you know, when I talked about the different people and nations that this country's dropped bombs on, you know, I didn't say us, and I didn't say the Native American, right? You know, like Malcolm said, you know what I'm saying, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. Right? So, you know, like a bomb on the ones of us who were here already when they came. Right? Yeah, like I said in the past, no, it was probably some Israelites didn't know they was Israel. That, you know, that knowledge had long been taken out of them. You know what I'm saying? But some Hamites was more likely here without question. And here come Esau and the Gentiles that was with them. And they had some of us that was with them. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, they've done their best to hide that history from us, just like the history we see in the book. It's not full by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, YHWH was all about Yah. That's how, again, the Egyptians, huh? You know, he was magnifying Yah the whole time he was there, right? When he first cracked that dream that Yah was giving to Pharaoh at that time. You know, he said, just like what Daniel told Nebuchadnezzar, you know, Yah up in heaven is the one that gives dreams, and he's the one that gives visions. He's the one that gives wisdom and understanding. But, you know, Esau's done his best to try to hide that from us. You know, YHWH was all about the law. He never left Yah, even when his brothers threw him in the hole, because they was jealous. Just like you got plenty of people today jealous at those of us who are totally committed to the law. Like I said before, you follow what I'm saying? You understand? People know us, you understand, when we were eating chicken and eating turkey. You know, Yoshi and I talk about it a lot because he tells me about situations with him. You follow what I'm saying? But, you know, all of you out there, you know, you've been around a while. You got a little age on you, maybe, you know, even if you're 20s, you know, 30, people know you when you used to eat chicken and turkey and pork chops and pork sausages, huh? Catfish and lobster and shrimp and crab, tuna fish. You understand? Turkey. When you used to deal with birthdays and Thanksgiving and Xmas, right? And 4th of July. Now they got another one, Juneteenth. Okay? You follow me? They know when you used to deal with all that. Now you don't do any of that. And you have been doing it, you know, if you know, you've been with Yah for some years, you have been doing this for years. And they see it. You follow me? And they're like, oh man, you know what I mean? Well, it's a lot of them, you know, different ones, they get envious, they get jealous, because, you know, a lot of them first thought, you know, it's like I said to my manicurist yesterday, right? We was talking, and right toward the end, I said, yeah, you know, going to a funeral Tuesday. She said, oh yeah. I said, yeah. I said, my guy's father, you know, passed. I said, you know, his father didn't really have anything for me. Y'all knows that, you know, he didn't really have anything for me. She said he didn't. Because I told her, I said, I've been knowing my guy since 59. She said, what? I said, yeah. I said, but his father didn't really have anything for me. She said, why not, Israel? I said, well, you know, when, you know, we came out of high school, I went to college. We both went to the same college here, University of Circle, University of Illinois, right? But I lasted about 4.5, 5 months. I told her 6. I gave myself a little bit. I lasted about maybe 5.5 months, and then I left. I told her, I said, because I you know, I said, but my guy, you know, he kept on going because his father really wanted him to go to college and get a degree. And his father talked to me, and I listened, and I appreciated it. And I told him I appreciated it because he was trying to get me to go back, right? And I told him, now, Pops, you know, college ain't for me. You know what I mean? I said, I'm about making me some money, right? And so then over the years, it basically showed itself where his father, he really wanted to see me do bad. You know what I'm saying? That's what he really wanted to see. You follow me? So he can say, see, you should have went to college. Okay? See, but he said to me about my guy. My guy got his degree, graduated like 74 with his degree, and then he got a job at the airline. And his father was a mechanic. So I had taken my brother's car, who was alive, and I had taken his car over to my guy's father, you know, to get it worked on. So we was in the garage, and his father was working on my brother's car. And then his father revealed, he said, yeah, he said, I paid all that money for your guy to go to college, and here he is clerking at the airline. And I said, well, Pops, I said, you know, you got to start somewhere. I said, you know, give him a chance. I said, you know, who knows? He might end up being the president of the airline in the future. He like, yeah, you know, he you know, he was, you know what I mean? He wasn't enthused about that. And I, you know, as time went by, I thought to myself, what you expect? You know, you think because he got a degree, he's gonna come out and be the president of a corporation? All of a sudden, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? But as time went by, and then when I changed my name, found out we was Israel, changed my name in 1980. He was the only one, you know, of some of my guys' parents and my guys who wouldn't call me YHWH. Okay, he kept calling me by my captive name, and he thought he was going, you know, get me angry, and I just would laugh. It was funny to me, you know, because I had to tell him. I said, you know, because one time, you know, he was, you know, adamant, yeah, calling me by my captive name. I said, and his own wife, who was alive at the time, she said, why you don't call YHWH? That's his name now. He like, I ain't calling that nigga YHWH. I'm gonna call him with his mama name. You know what I mean? And I just laughed. And I told him, I said, Pops, you know, I told his wife at the time, I said, you know, it's all right, Ma. I said, you know, you understand what I mean? I know who I am and why I am what I am. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, you know, he wants to still call me by my captain's name. That's up to him. But over a period of time, you understand what I mean? He became so adamant and still calling me that, but he, you know, other people would say to him, you know, why you still calling him that? And after a while, I mean, a few years, he just felt so isolated and so foolish. He had to end up calling me YHWH too. You know what I'm saying? But the deal is, he wanted to see me. I peeped him. He wanted to see me do bad. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't understand that Yah was, you know, was protecting me and shielding me and you know, bringing me along and, you know, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I could see it in him. He got to the point where he just became sheepish around me and really, you know, didn't really want to be around me long. whenever I was on the scene, he go in another room or something, you know what I mean? He didn't really want to be around me. And, you know, people get like that. You know, they hide their faces. You know what I'm saying? They get envious, they get jealous, or they get, you know, because they end up being revealed, you know, to them. And he was a Christian, but, you know, it ended up, you don't really know what you think you know, what you about. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. Okay, and I see Yahshua, you say, why would Eli's seed be punished because of the sin of Hophni and Phinehas? Is this a contradiction to Deuteronomy 24:16, Jeremiah 31:30, and Ezekiel 3:18-21? Well, Hophni and Phinehas, you know what they did, right? And the reason why Yah put this on the seed of Eli forever is because he allowed Hophni and Phinehas to do what they did. You know, Eli was the high priest. Hophni and Phinehas were priests, but they were up under him. And he was supposed to stop them from, you know, committing adultery with men's wives of the congregation. You know what I'm saying? And abusing Yah's sacrifices. He was supposed to stop them immediately. He didn't do it. That's why Yah told him, he said, you know, you understand, those who don't esteem me shall be lightly esteemed. You know, how do you put your sons before me? You see what I'm saying? So that's why, you know what I mean? That's why he put that on Eli, because he allowed it. You know, that's why Hophni and Phinehas were both killed at the same time. And that had been prophesied to Eli, correct? And so Eli allowed this. Now what Esau took out of the book, right? And this is what Jacob and Hadassah brought to me here, a few years back. They you know, you understand, laid on me that it was Eli that had to consecrate Samuel. But Esau took that out the book. You follow what I'm saying? Because, you know, as they pointed out to me, Yah does not change, right? And we see in Exodus, right? That's how it's always done. Anybody that's anointed has to be anointed in the sight of the people. Okay? They have to be anointed in the sight of the people. And we see that that's how it started, right? Yah, you know, commanded Moshe to anoint Aharon, right? And to anoint Eleazar, right? And to anoint Yahushua. Isn't that right? In the sight of the people. Now, for those of you out there, we don't see, you know, didn't anybody anoint Moshe? But he was like the governor. But then anybody anoint him, he was just doing the will of Yah, right? At the mouth of Yah. And there wasn't no doubt, you know what I mean? Because as they said, you know, Yah would come to Moshe like face to face in that, you know, not that Moshe saw his face, but Yah would talk to Moshe straight out. There wouldn't be no intermediary. See? So we know Eli had to, because when they brought it to me, I said, yeah, you right. You know, Eli had to anoint, you understand, Shmuel, in the sight of the people. But Esau took it out the book. Now, again, like I say, you know, it wasn't no sins of the father. I mean, Hophni and Phinehas was wicked. And he allowed them to do that. So it's wickedness on all three of them's part. Like I say, go back there in 1 Samuel and read what Yah said to Eli. The last thing he said to Eli, because once you go there and read it, Yah didn't come to Eli anymore. That's why when you keep reading, what does it say? It was no open vision for a few years. Okay? Yah didn't come to anybody because the people was messed up. Now you had some priests, you know, like Elkanah, Samuel's father. He was a priest, but Yah didn't come to him, right? You follow me? So Yah raised up Samuel. You understand? Now he did this was Elkanah's son, right, by Hannah. And we can see how Peninnah acted towards Hannah, because Yah had given Peninnah, Elkanah's other wife, some children, but he hadn't given any children to Hannah. And Peninnah was, you know, she was, the way I see it, she was being like Abel. You know, you understand? Like the same way Abel was doing with Cain, same way Peninnah was doing with Hannah. But Hannah never responded. You know, she didn't bark back and holler and scream. She just took it, right? And then she took her petition to Yah and made a vow, right? And from that, she kept her word, right? Because she afflicted herself. Because like I said before, Hannah probably liked some cucumbers, you understand, or some tomatoes. Or she liked to drink wine maybe sometime, or eat some grapes. But once she said, if you give me a son, in other words, he'll be a Nazarite from birth. No razor shall come upon his head, which means she put a condition on herself. Once she became impregnated, she didn't drink any, she didn't eat anything of the vine until Samuel was weaned. So we're talking about what, maybe about 3-4 years, maybe, right? She didn't eat anything of the vine, right? So she put a condition on herself. And then she did what she said. When she weaned him, she took him up and gave him to Yah, right? You see? So okay, say Eli warns his sons about the wrong that they were doing. So why Eli's seed was punished? Because again, Eli didn't stop him. He ain't supposed to just listen. Joshua, and all you out there, when you raising a child, you're supposed to train them up, right, in the way that they shall go. And when they get older, they will not depart therefrom. Now, as I'm talking about this, maybe this was the laxness in Isaac with Esau. Maybe. You understand what I'm saying? You know, children are supposed to do what they are raised to do, what they're told to do. You follow me? It's not about them having their way. I was raised that way. You know, my father put on me, he ain't about you doing what you want to do, about you having your way. You understand? And my mother, you know, you do what you told. Okay? You follow me? See, and again, you know, Esau, through the government in this society and in the societies of the West, he has, you know, interceded in that kind of raising. You follow me? The government comes in and like, you can't do this with your child. You can't whip your child. You can't chastise your child. That's abuse. We'll put you in jail. You follow me? See, now even though you got parents that probably don't care nothing about that, they still will raise their child. Still, the children are raised in this, and they hear this. You see what I'm saying? And as we have seen a breakdown through the years, okay? Because since I've been here, you know, these 71 years, in the last 60-something years, I've seen this breakdown in children. Where now you got these children now, you know, they figure they can do whatever they want to do with no recompense. That's why, again, you know, they can, you know, and the females are included too, because they can, a lot of them carrying pistols. They figure they can go shoot and whatnot and not supposed to get any recompense. Kill somebody and not get any recompense. You follow me? And it doesn't work like that. You understand? And those of you who in this room today, those of you who listen to this, or those of you who will hear this and have any kind of grasp of the word of Yah, you know that's not the case. You follow me? I just read to you in them 4 chapters, 30, 31, 32, 33, you remember. Everybody gets judged according for the iniquity or sins or righteousness that they do. Whatever you do, you understand, you're gonna get judged accordingly. I don't care who you are, who you think you are. See? And now you've got many people in the world across this earth. That's why you hear about all of this pride, gay pride, and all that nonsense. Two males, hitched up, two women hooked up, just like this, this person, I'll say person, over there in Russia that they got locked up. You follow what I'm saying? The basketball player, right? And her partner, another female. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? It's talking about my wife, and it's totally ludicrous. Ludicrous. And this one that's over there in Russia, she could very well, this was done to her. That intersex, they changed, you understand, it's really a guy. They changed his chromosomes to a female. See? I'm telling you, this thing is hideous. It's totally off the chain. So you got all this kind of stuff going on, and this is Esau. Again, to disrupt. Right? That's his whole thing. That's again why these Edomites are going to be known as the people whom Yah has indignation against forever because of what they have done. Now, quite naturally, there's going to be some Edomites. They didn't necessarily participate in that, but this is what Yah said. This is what they're going to be known for. Because again, when you go to that 83rd Psalm, all the Edomites, doesn't it say that? The tabernacles of Edom. It doesn't specify one tribe of Edom. It didn't say the Temanites or the Amalekites. It said the tabernacles of Edom were all complicit into keeping Israel cut off. Okay? It was the Edomites that came up, in 587 BCE. You follow me? With the Moabites and the Ammonites and whatnot, and the Chaldeans, as it says, they was as one of them. It was the Edomites that went into the temple of Yah, that last temple, before Nebuchadnezzar burned it down and defiled it over there in Ezekiel, right? Chapter 7. Okay? Just like it's the Edomites today. It's not all Amalekites over there in the land. It's plenty. They saying now it's what, 700,000 Edomites like on the West Bank. It's a bunch of Edomites over there in the land claiming to be us. So again, you understand, they're gonna be known as the people whom Yah has indignation against forever. Okay, and before I forget, go into some more of these, questions. As we listened here the other day to this interview with Ali Abu Nima on this site with this brother and this Lebanese sister out of Lebanon. I don't know the name. Yada might remember. Yada brings these things up, but Ali Abu Nima was, he's over here in Chicago, right outside Chicago, and they had him on the virtual, and it was revealed that the Lebanese, they got a huge strike in natural gas right off the coast of Lebanon. A huge reservoir of natural gas, okay? The Edomites know it. And the Edomites want to come over there and drill. They've been keeping the Lebanese from actually accessing this natural gas that will benefit Lebanon, the Lebanese people, right? Now, Hezbollah is over and been over in Lebanon for years. Now, Ali Abu Nima brought forth in his interview the other day, he said that Hezbollah has warned the Edomites that, hey, you ain't coming over here tapping this natural gas. You understand what I'm saying? This is ours over here. If you come over here and try to tap this natural gas, this reservoir of natural gas, it's going to be war. Now, Ali Abu Nima put forth that the Edomites know that Hezbollah is well equipped to actually, you understand, put forth a war. You understand what I'm saying? They supposed to, the way he talked, like they got the means to go to war with these Edomites. And they done told him, if you come over here and try to tap this reservoir of natural gas, it's gonna be war. There ain't no two ways about it. Okay? Now, you follow me? They done found some natural gas over, in the land. But Lebanon's really part of Israel too. But the way it's divided now. And the Edomites then found yes, and I think it's around the Golden Heights, so it's Syria probably think it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? But they found some natural gas over there and some oil, a little bit of oil, but I think it's more natural gas. But this is why they've been trying to unseat Bashir Assad. You follow what I'm saying? And get him out the way, because the Russians, and again, that's the luminous that's up there in Russia, supposed to be back in the Syrians. But like I said, this El Wadi, Wadi revealed Bari Atwan. This Bari Atwan Palestinian revealed, like I said, we was listening to him on Galloway, on Galloway's podcast called MOATS, M-O-A-T-S, Mother of All Talk Shows. That's what MOATS is the acronym for. George Galloway, right? And he had that Atwan, Bari Atwan, on his show. And Bari Atwan, again, he revealed that the Russians has been coordinating the Edomites going in bombing Syria. You follow me? So automatically, when I hear this, I'm like, okay, so you understand that's the luminous that's controlling Russia. And the main thing all of the luminous agree on, they might be fragmented on some of these other things, maybe, but the main thing they agree on, they do not want the Edomites that's in the land to be thrust out, because that's why they put them there in 1897, was to block the return of Yah, our righteousness, the king. That's why they put them Edomites there. That's the one chapter about you, right? Those who took you to the border, those who eat of thy bread, have laid a wound up under you. Because, again, the Illuminists know what y'all done said, right? At some point, he gonna make them run away from her, the land, right? Jerusalem. And he gonna run them down into their land, and they're gonna be burned up. They're gonna be made like the burnings of land. Yeshaya chapter 33, what's that, verse 12? Yeshaya chapter 34 and 35. It's talking about that. 33, 34, 35. It's talking about Yah bringing judgment on the Edomites in their land. He gonna run them into their land and burn them up. Like I said in the session, the smoke gonna go up from the land of Esau. Doesn't it say that in chapter 34? From generation to generation. So the Luminists, they understood that, but they still put them there. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't care about them. They just use them, like I said in the past, like an attack dog. Like a guard in the land, to keep us from coming back. This is Israel here. You follow me? What? All right, Rivka. You say, is that why the Edomites bombed the Lebanese port a few years back? Probably, more likely than not, sis. Okay, more likely than not. They dropped a little small nuclear device, as we said in the past, and blew up the port. And then they programmed, the people over here with the nonsense about, like I said, it's like that the Oklahoma City, the federal building in Oklahoma, supposedly, what's that boy's name? Supposed to pull up in a truck with some fertilizer in it and blew off almost the whole building and put a hole down in the ground. I don't know how deep. And you talking about that was some fertilizer. There was no fertilizer. There was probably a missile. Just like what they did in 9/11 when they hit the Pentagon. That was a missile. That wasn't no plane. That was a missile. Okay? You follow me? See, we can see this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? See, and again, what did y'all say about these Edomites? How are they hidden things, secret things? What? Sought up and searched out, O Esau, in the one chapter about it. Right? So we can see this stuff for really what it is. And we ain't the only ones. We ain't the only ones. You follow what I'm saying? So again, Esau, Yah is steadily pulling the covers off of him. He can't hide anymore. Nobody can. Nobody can hide. I don't care who you think you are. Nobody can hide anymore. What's that, over there? Yeah, Timothy McVeigh. Rivka, that's right. Timothy McVeigh. And the other boy, what's his name? Nichols, I think, was supposed to have been with him. You understand what I mean? That's all game. You follow me? That was an inside job, just like 9/11, just like the first bomb in the Trade Center back there in 93. You know, what was it, 92, 93? Talking about the blind sheikh. He blind, but he setting off a bomb. You know what I mean? Bunch of nonsense. See? You know, it's like, what did I say, the other day, y'all and I was looking at something happened. I thought that they probably got somebody froze. What was that we looking at? It was something on the other day, you know, because, you know, for those of you who saw The Long Kiss Goodnight with Samuel Jackson and Gina Davis, right? That's why I think Gina Davis haven't really done no good, because her and her husband, who she was hooked up at the time, they made that movie Long Kiss Goodnight. Her husband is the one that like produced it, directed it or something. It's a good movie, you understand what I mean? And it's real, because they was like saying this is what really happened. This is what really happened, you know, in these situations. They had, you know, they was gonna blow up this bridge, and they had frozen 2 Arabs. They had them froze hard as a brick, and they was gonna bring them out there and say, yeah, point them out, you know. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In The Long Kiss Goodnight. And that's what they do. You follow what I'm saying? And like I say, Gina Davis, I don't think she done too much since. You know what I mean? Her and her husband ended up getting divorced after that flick. All right? Because they, you know, Esau put the pressure on them. You know, because Esau, you know, they got the movie shown, but hey, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? Always trying to, you know, they perpetrate something and then try to, you know, throw it off and tell people is you know, point the finger at somebody else. Oh, they did this. But it's really Esau. Just like 9/11, like those, what was it, like 9 or 12, these Edomites that was up on the roof watching when the planes hit the 2 towers, and they was jumping up and down, cheering, giving high five. And it was a woman in a taller building that looked down and saw them. She called the police. Police came, got them all, took them in, and ended up got a call, let them all go. And when they let them go, they put them on a plane, and guess where they flew them? Over to the land of Israel. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't been heard about since. See? All that came out. You follow me? Because they were the ones who were more likely planting the charges of the thermite bomb in the trade centers. Okay? Again, just like Marvin Bush was over the trade centers as security when, you know, before all this happened. See? You know, you can't have this stuff no more. Y'all revealing all of this. Right, Yoshi Musad. Okay? Oh yeah, you understand what I mean? I tell you, they was jumping up down giving high fives. Okay, the woman said that don't look right, so she called the police. Police came and got them, took them in, and messed around. They got a call, let them go. They put them on a plane and sent them over to the land. You understand? They don't talk about that though, do they? See, and the thing is, they think, you know, when you hear about this kind of stuff, a lot of people miss this stuff. A lot of people don't even pay no attention to news. You understand what I'm saying? Like I say, they don't have any point of relevance. They don't know really what's going on. You understand what I mean? I remember when the trade centers was hit that day. I went. Matter of fact, I think it was like the next day, a couple of days. I went to the shoe shine place, right? My guy's place, and I'm up there getting the shine. So it was some of us up in there talking, and it still really hadn't hit me yet. And one of the guys up in there said, "Yeah, I think it was the Illuminati." And when he said that, it just all clicked. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It just clicked. Okay, I think it was the next day. He said that, like, okay, hey, there you go. Now, you follow me? And so, you know, because they do this stuff, all of a sudden stuff break out, and you like, you kind of in shock. You know what I mean? You be like, man, you know what I'm saying? But they behind most of this stuff. Most of it, like I said about these shootings here in Chicago and other places. They've behind a lot of these shootings. I ain't gonna say all of them, but they are behind a lot of them. That's why they never get solved. You know, like what Yada was playing this morning, last night. I talked about it here, and that was last July, a year ago. And I talked about how they had a shooting over here on the west side in Chicago. Police was out there. It was the 4th of July. Police was out there and everything. It was an Israelite commander, a female. She was out there. She had good rapport with the community over there on the west side. They was all out there, and all of a sudden, it was this sister in the paper. They said she was talking to the commander. All of a sudden, they heard this pop. At first, they thought it was firecrackers. Then it was a guy who jumped out of nowhere, and he started shooting. Shot the commander in the foot. Okay, I think he shot another policeman. Wound, wasn't no serious wound. And he turned around and started running. And the sister that was talking to the commander, she said, "There he is, get him." She said, and none of them made a move. Police didn't chase him. They didn't run it. They didn't get in their cars. Nothing. And that same sister said, "See, that's why this stuff keep on going on, because y'all don't do nothing." But like I said when I talked about it in the session, they all didn't do anything because they knew he was working. He was one of the agents, one of the jackals sent out to do this kind of stuff. Just like these drug houses. All right, we got drug houses right here in the community. I see them go and get heroin every day, all night, all day. The police, I seen the police over there talking to one day. You understand? And they know what's going on, but they don't care. Because hey, it's us. Keep them high. You understand? Let them use all the drugs they want. See, plus with the economic situation, a lot of these police, I know they're getting kickbacks. You understand what I'm saying? They go through there and get them a couple of hundred, a week, or 400 a week. You understand what I'm saying? They kicking down. But they don't care about us using drugs. Simple as that. And I see everybody go in there, young, old, and it's pitiful. It really is. But what can you do? Some of them go in there and get it because it's heroin what they're selling. I know what it look like. Some of them get it and they can't get a quarter of a block away. They open up and start sniffing it up their nose. See them right out the window. Or if I'm out there. You understand what I'm saying? They know what's going on. They don't care. Because it's us. Simple as that. That's who it's for. And there's plenty of Caucasians go over there. Now, people see that. Okay. Caucasian women, guys, they go over there every day. Every day. Okay? I looked out the window this morning and just happened to see that same girl, Caucasian girl. She come every morning, early in the morning, get her hit, jump in her car and take off. They don't care. Because right now, Esau get them all high. They want to use heroin and cocaine or whatever. Stand crank, smoke weed, let them get it. Drink alcohol, let them get it. You follow me? Keep them sedated. Keep them mentally, you understand, under control. Physically under control. You understand? Because if your whole thing is getting high every day, you no threat to Esau. You no threat to this system. Simple as that. Right? If you caught all off into chasing whores and hooking up with whores and, you understand, trying to have you a good time and all that, you ain't no threat to Esau. He ain't worried about you. Because you caught. You caught in the snare, in the trap. Male or female, young or old, I don't care what your nationality is. See, because again, his mind is systematically getting rid of people. Definitely anybody if he think, they can pose a threat. So that's all of Israel. You understand? Because again, because of the what? The deep-seated hatred. That perpetual hatred that these Amalekite Edomites, and I know it's probably some other Edomites too, got for Israel. They know who we are. Okay? What's that? Okay, Othniel, you say Ezekiel 16:9 is the anointing oil from Yah equivalent to the nation of Israel being salted. 16:4 with the nation of Israel being a nation of priests. Yeshaya 61:6, Exodus 19:6, could it be metaphorical or equivalent to the high priest being anointed? Exodus 29. Well, again, when Yah is using a euphemism, not even using an analogy, what's the term? Metaphor, right? In Ezekiel 16, right? And so he says, they were not swaddled, right? Assaulted. Well, you can say that. Because again, Moshe wasn't anointed with any oil, right? But Aharon was, because it was Moshe that anointed him, right? But Moshe never was anointed. He was called. And isn't that the same thing what we see in Yeshaya chapter 48? Go to 48 Yeshaya, right? And what did y'all say? I read it to you verbatim. Specifically, verse 12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my call. Right? I am he, I am the first, I also am the last. And then he imputes his power in verse 13. Right? And then in verse 14, he says, all you assemble yourselves in here. Which among them have declared these things? Yah had, past tense, loved him. See, now he's talking about what? Talking about David? Did he say Yah loved David? Right? Okay? See? And this is the messenger he's talking about. His call. Okay, so again, nothing new up under the sun. We look at Moshe. Moshe was called, was he not? He was called to the bush that was on fire but not being consumed. But he never was anointed with any oil. He did the anointing though, right? Like I said earlier. What's next? Hold on. Okay, Yahushua, you said to explain 1 Chronicles 29:29. Well, again, I know that's where, you know, Dawid called all the people together. You know, like I said in the past, when Yah revealed to Dawid in chapter 22, 1 Chronicles, where the temple was going to be built in Salem. All right? And you say about the books of Natan and Gad, where these books. Esau got them. You know what I'm saying? Esau got them. And, or maybe he's made them part of Chronicles and or so-called Kings, really Book of the Governors, and he just took their name from them, you know, off of them. But if their name was on them, you know, we don't see that in the book. So Esau got them. You know, the book's been attacked, right? You know, book's been attacked. That's another reason why Yah has said the Edomites are going to be known as the people whom he has indignation against forever. Right? Okay, now you said 29, you said now the acts of Dawid, the governor, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel, the seer, in the book of Natan, the prophets. Again, in Gad, the seer, right? The recorders and scribes, right? We don't have it. You know, like I said in the past, that's what they were doing in the caves of Qumran. Huh? In the 2nd and the 1st century BC, and coming up through the CEAD, they were still messing with the book. You know, like I just said in the past, from the 4th to the 9th century CEAD, it was somewhere in there when the Mezerites, these Edomites called Mezerites, took the name of Yah out of the book. You understand what I'm saying? 6,823 places they took the name out. Well, 6,822, because they left it in an aberrated form in the 68th Psalm verse 4. Right? Aberrated form, but they left it there. Right? Yah made them leave it there. We gotta do some homework, but we can come up with Yah from the JAH, right? But they took it out of all those other places, and they took it out of its true form, YHWH, in English, YHWH. Book's been attacked. But it's in this chapter, you know, again, well, you know the chapter, but you just want to know about verse 29. You know what I'm saying? And these Edomites are something else. But like again, what does it say in the one chapter about? You hide thy hidden things, secret things sought up and searched out, O Esau. Because it's all by the spirit of Yah. You understand? And those of us who have turned to Yah with all our heart and soul, right? And you know, plugged into Yah. And Yah brings things through, you know, he brings through different ones of you out there. As I said in the past, and I probably didn't mention everybody, But at different times, he brings different things through others. He don't bring everything through me. It might come to me, you know, because again, so I can talk about it, bring it out to the people, you know, because people are plugged into this movement across the earth. You know, just like I look at the names here, I don't see Mia Tira, right? She's over there back in Romania, last we heard. But I hope she's well. I hope she's safe. I hope she stays with y'all. You understand? And if she does that, I know she's well and I know she's safe because y'all gonna take care of her. See? But she doesn't come in the room anymore. She might not be able to. You follow what I'm saying? But I hope she's well and I hope she's safe. I hope she stays with y'all. And then, like I said, then I know she's endeared into his bosom and brought under the shadow of his wing. But there's others, you know, that's out there across the earth that's plugged into the movement, so that they can hear this, like the brothers and sisters over there in the Congo. You follow me? Over in England. You follow me? And like I say, many places. Over in Japan. I still haven't heard from that brother. He called once, left a message, but he got to call me again. You understand? If he want to talk to me. Okay? But brothers locked up in prison. You know, I know his brother's in Colorado because his brother calls every now and then when he gets a chance to. He called here a few weeks back, here last month. But they wouldn't let the call come through. He called a couple of times in succession. And when I would pick up the phone, y'all righteous peace, they were like, you accept this call? And I'm like, yeah, you know, and they would cut it off. Wouldn't let him, you know, wouldn't let the call come through. You know? That's Esau. And his you know, his tentacles at work. Okay? So you asking Yakai or Benaiah and Zaki, said, did we read about Nicaragua Parliament expelled the Catholic ambassador, Mother Teresa missionary nuns condemning the Catholic Church for being coup-mongers and devils in Cossack? You know, I didn't know that, but they finally figured it out. They finally figured it out, huh? Yeah, I see you had Yeshaya 14:12 and Micah 5:12. Let me just take a look at that. I know 14 talking about this Babylon. Say 14:12. How art thou fallen? Okay, all right. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which weakened the nations? Yeah, with this, you know, again over there, the idol, you know, in Daniel chapter 11, verse was it 38, 39? You know, they set up a strange idol which they shall cause to rule over many. And Micah 5:12, what's that? Let me look at that. Nicaragua is backed by Russia. Well, again, Daniel Ortega. You know, he been you know, over there in Nicaragua, been the president for a long time. I think they got him out once he got back in there. But you know, Daniel Ortega, he ain't for no nonsense. And a lot of Nicaraguans, they with him. That's how come he can stay in power. Because I don't think he can stay in power if you know, if the Nicaraguans wasn't with him. I know they've tried to coup him at different times, you know, and so I can see Daniel Ortega putting them out. Well, that's what he called them. That's exactly right. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Where again, you know, that's talking about us, right? And cutting them out of the land, which includes, right, Christianity, any faith, the Coptic Christians over there in Jerusalem represented, the Greek Orthodox represented, the Catholicism represented, all that's represented in Jerusalem, right? Together with Islam and whatever other, you know, the, what is it? They got another section over there. I can't call it now, it escapes me, but they, you know, they got all the idols set up over there in Jerusalem. That's why, you know, when Jerusalem movement is brought back, you know, with Yah on the head of us and he at our rearward, that's like the main order of business. It's to cleanse Jerusalem of all idolatry. What, Ezekiel 11 verse 18, right? We got to remove all the idols and images. You follow me? And that's what's going to cause us to get attacked, right? It's also Micah chapter 5 at the back end. That's what's going to cause the attack of the Assyrian, right? The Iraqi. It's going to come in on us, right? But that's when Yah raises up that instance, 7 shepherds, 8 principal men. Right? That's when, the governor going to be speaking peace to the heathen. They're not going to want to hear it, so they're going to, hit him, on the cheek with a rod. But, what does it say over there again in Zechariah chapter 13? Smite the shepherd, the sheep shall be scattered, and in all the land, Yah is going to turn his hand against those who not totally committed and submitted to him, and 2/3 of the people are going to be taken out because they're not really submitted and committed to Yah. But 1/3 of the people going to, they're going to have their complete and utter faith and trust in Yah, stand upon his holy name, and he going to bring them through. And they're going to say, Yah is my strong one. He's going to say, these are my people. And once that, culminates, that 1/3, that's when we become the beacon on the hill. YHWH 30, the light to the world. So, that's where we are. I just heard somebody blew up 2 of those huge, big, 4th of July, Juneteenth fireworks. It's like a half, I guess it's still a half a stick of dynamite. It might be a whole stick now. That's what it sounds like. 2 of them back to back. Which one? See? Yeah, so I tell you, they're locking down more and more on the censorship. That's why you got to go to this alternative sites on the internet now. Okay, RT International, like I said, the different sites, Moats, Mother of All Talk Shows, George Galloway, and go to the different Peter Lavelle, Crosstalk, Alex and Alexander. Alexander's over in the UK. Alex is in Greece. Bring them up. Durant, it's their handle, Durant. Y'all has them up. Sometimes they be talking 4 or 5 hours. They bad as I am, huh? But they be talking about a lot of stuff. They have Scott Ritt on there at times. Other people, some people from here, people from over in England and different places, and they telling you the real deal per se of what's going on in the Ukraine. Because you're not gonna get that, here in America. You're not getting it. Simple as that. You go on these, CNN and CBS and NBC, ABC, you ain't gonna get the truth. CNBC or whatever it's called, you ain't gonna get. It's all gonna be, censored and slanted, lies and deception. Just like in these newspapers, you gotta really discern what they putting out. Yeah, Rivka, peace and Yah bless you as well. You say Tanzania, Haiti, now Japan, former Prime Minister Abe Shinzo assassinated. Yeah, we saw that. It was on Democracy Now! Yesterday. He was staunchly against COVID, man. Okay, see, I figured they had him knocked off. I didn't know why. So that's it, huh? He was against the COVID mandates and shots before he left office, August 2020. Now Japan has hardcore travel restrictions, drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay. Yeah, so that's why he was killed. I figured as much. He was probably killed because something he was doing that the Edomites didn't like. You know what I mean? I just didn't know what. I knew he wasn't prime minister, supposedly left for his health, and they probably, laid it on him then. We're going to kill you. So he went on and said his health, he resigned, right? Back there in 2020. So that's what it was. He wasn't going to put that on his people. And so and he probably was talking. Because from what I understand, he was backing somebody who was running for prime minister or something. He probably was talking too much. That's why they had him killed. And probably to put a scare in some of them other ones over there talking that same talk. You follow me? Yeah, I tell you, this thing is these people are heinous. They're murderers. They're snakes. That's why y'all calls them the Leviathan in YHWH chapter 27. You know what I mean? you know, they will kill you. You understand? Your only protection, I don't care who you are or who you think you are, your only protection is Yah. And if you want Yah to protect you, you got to be committed and submitted to him. You follow me? And then he will protect you and shield you. But this thing is something, because these Edomites is nuts, and they're getting nuttier by the second. And what they think about killing somebody, bombing somebody or whatever, that don't mean anything to them. And that's why, again, you got plenty of us out here now that have taken on the same mindset as our oppressors. You follow me? And again, that's why all Israel and most of Israel is not coming back to Yah. Simple as that. So I'm trying to think of just trying to make sure that touched on everything. You know, we care about all of you out there. You know, all of you who, you know, are steadfast in support of the movement, mentally, spiritually, physically. We appreciate all of you out there. You know, because it's many who are out there, and it's growing, because again, people have been put into a position now where they're afraid, they're scared, and they got a right to be, because again, this is a time of trouble never been since it's been a nation. Okay, and if you want salvation, the only one you can run to is Yah righteousness, decay. The spirit and creator of all things, he who creates hosts, that's him. And he's the only one that can protect you and shield you, nourish you, bless you. You know, he's the only one. And as I read it, you know, 30, 31, 32, 33, you remember, as he said, is anything too hard for him? Ain't nothing too hard for him. There's nothing that he does not know. There's nothing that he cannot do. And as we substantiated, just like he said he was going to do in chapter 42, Yeshaya, he's drying up the water across the earth. He's drying up the herbs. Again, Yeshaya 47 verse 14. Not going to be a coal or fire to warm at. Not necessarily that you don't have any money. It's just going to get turned off. Right? Because the country you in refuses to pay Russian rubles. And quite naturally, you here in America, right? You don't have the money to pay for it. They're going to cut you off. And again, what I read, that this Biden, you know, talking about the government going to shore up these 200 pensions, these 200 pension funds, and going to pay these people full pensions for the next 30 years. You believe that? I don't. I don't even believe that. Okay? And again, we already see, as I said earlier, the dollar is collapsing. You know, they artificially trying to strengthen it, but that's all game. And it's unraveling as I speak. Okay? So, you know, that's why, you know, that interview with Alistair McLeod yesterday, he was saying the people in the East, they understand this. They getting all their hands on all the gold and silver they get their hands on. The people in the East. He said, okay, and just like Lynette Zhang, he stressed gold, right? You understand what I mean? Because they're going to more than likely, the BRICS, because Alistair McLeod revealed this too. Was it him or Ali Abu Nima? I think he said something about it too. The Saudis, they hooking up with Russia and China. They hooking up with China. Okay? Because it was Alistair McLeod. He said you can add, you know, the BRICS. Brazil, B. Russia, you understand, is the R. India is the I. China is the C. And the S is South Africa. Right? Now, we know Iran is hooked up with them. But he revealed that the Saudis, they hooking into the BRICS too. Okay? See? Because they can see that this dollar's going south. You follow me? So nobody wants to be in this dollar, Because we already see inflation rising, and it's not going to stop. Inflation is man, it's you know, stuff's getting more and more expensive. Okay, I saw peanut oil go up $3 from $8.89 to like 11. What is it? 11.79. It's close to $3. It went up. All right, that's significant, right? You know the gas. I mean, I come home yesterday. I had to make a move yesterday. I come back. I saw gas prices regular like $6.49, premium like $6.99. Not premium. Mid grade $6.99, and premium was like, what was it? $7.29, $7.39. Okay. Cause you know, it's a brother. He got a couple of these, you know, Maseratis and whatnot. He said, "Yo, I ain't even driving." No. he said, he got it the price of 300. He said, "I'm driving that. I can put regular in that." Okay, and he ain't alone. I had another brother. You know, he got an Alfa Romero. And he be crying the blues about this high gas price. He be riding like, man, he drives maybe about 8, 9, 10 miles round trip going to get this gas that's cheaper. Okay? So, you know, it's hitting everybody. It's over there in you heard the article I read about the old Caucasian, what was it, the British guy over there in London. He said he traded his car. He getting rid of his car by October. He getting rid of his car because he can't afford to keep it. Petrol costs too much. He on fixed income. What he say? He's 80 years old. He on fixed income. Okay. So he said we got to cut back. See, but there's only so much cutting back you can do, right? So again, this is serious. This is no joke, and it's here, and it's getting exponentially worse. So, like I said, Biden is running this game. I mean, you know, about the government is going to back these 200 pensions fully for the next 30 years. Like I said, I don't even believe that. Y'all said it'll be under discussion for 30 years, right? Well, again, you know, because like I said, the one guy, DeVito, he said his pension over the last 5 years, he's only been getting 60% of his pension, right? He, you know, they've been cut him 40%. You know, he's not the only one. See, and then when you got these inflation rising prices, that's hitting people even that much more, right? So again, you see, Yah lives, Yah's word steadily coming to pass, and that's why I read to you chapter 30, 31, 32, 33, Yah remnant. You know, and that's why I said, as I read, really listen and think about it. And I spotted some other places in the book, you know, as I read it. But again, you know, all of you out there, read it again for yourself, and read those 4 chapters and look what he said he was going to do. And this is going all the way back to 587 BCE. So now here we are, you know, over 2,500 years later, right? And we can, as it says in chapter 23 and chapter 30, Yeremiah, and I read that at the back end of chapter 30, right? In the latter days you shall consider it. In chapter 23, what does it say? In the latter days you shall consider it perfectly. Okay? Follow me? And you see what YHWH 1955 put up in Keturah. She knows what to do. And she knows she can't get out of, you know, can't get out of harm. You got to do what you got to do. But that's all of us. All of us have to do this. You know? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you got to do what you got to do. You got to cleanse. You got to clean up your past. If Yohanan had actually took that to heart, you understand? He possibly would still be here. Zioniah know, she in the room. She know I ain't lying. Okay, we talked about it. You know, he told me about 3 times. Then after he told me that the 3rd time, I've been doing everything y'all said. Nothing. Wait a minute, I had to stop him. After he said that about the 3rd time, I'm like, come on, y'all. You know, if you had been doing that, you wouldn't be having these problems that you have. Simple as that. I'm a witness. I can testify. You understand what I'm saying? A sister yesterday, she's 74. They pulled up on me. I was out in front. Because we got some knuckleheads across the alley up on the 3rd floor. I don't know what's on there, man. They threw about all this garbage. I come back and they just throw stuff out the window. I'm talking about like to clean out the refrigerator, just threw all the stuff down on the ground. And I saw all of that, so I got to get it up. You know what I'm saying? It's in front of my neighbor's garage. So a lot of it splattered up on his garage door. But I swept it up. And just when I finished, and came around and was taking the broom and the shovel into the garage, this brother that lives about 3 doors down, he pulled up and got the sister. She don't live around here now. She used to. They pulled up on me. She said, hey. And I looked, I said, hey. So they pulled up and I went over. And he said to me, he said, man, I want to thank you for getting all that up. He said, because it's these people. He said, I called on them. I said, yeah, well, call again, because I done called on them too, because this don't make any sense. I said, but that's just how horrible some of our people act. But then we was talking. I hadn't seen her in a while, about a couple of years. And then she said to me, she said, yeah, it's my birthday. I'm 74. I said, oh, okay. But you know, I ain't, they be looking for a happy birthday. I ain't saying none of that. You know what I mean? So I just said, oh, okay, you know, and I told her I saw her son every now and then. I'd ask him, and she shook her head. She said, oh, she said he give me all kind of trouble, but I didn't get into that. So she looked at me, she said, boy, you look good. I said, hey, I'm holding on with both hands. Okay? And I'm holding on to the Creator with both hands, disconnected. If you can hear me, y'all are disconnected, she got to get the mic again. Yeah, so we back. Esau probably said you didn't talk enough, y'all. You know what I'm saying? They're listening all the time. Don't think they're not. And because before we go, I just want to say this: when we do the session, then Yada like uploads it, right? And she was saying how it uploads, but then they got to check it, and it's the check that lasts a long time. So she had it up, and I come and look at it, and they check it. It takes them maybe 3-4 hours. It's like the length of the session to check it. And so she said, well, I don't know why the check takes so long. I said, because they checking to see what they gonna come in and interrupt, what they gonna mess with, you know what I mean? What they gonna try to keep the people from hearing, you know what I mean? So that's why I say again, you come in to the session, some of it, you know, is gonna cut. You're gonna have little glitches here and there, because they don't want you to hear certain things in continuity. But we're gonna replay it again next week. They might do something similar next week, but y'all put up on the website. So you know, after next week, it'll go up on the website, and you want to go back in and listen to it then, you know, yourself. So we're gonna call it a session. All of you out there, stay focused, read, study, pray, and do. For Yah righteousness, Jerusalem, and the Holy Seed. God bless everybody. Peace.